So, I'm live only because I decided to do a review for Self-Made, and I felt like, why not do it live on Instagram? Only because I don't feel like, doing it, recording on my computer. So, yeah. So basically, Self-Made is on Netflix. It's about, Madam C.J. Walker, right? Which, if you don't know who Madam C.J. Walker is, then I don't know what rock you've been under. I don't know, what your parents been doing with your life. I don't know. But for those of y'all who don't know, Madam C.J. Walker, she is the first black female self-made millionaire. Because, she sold, like, hair products, right? So she was, the first black female millionaire. I feel like she was the first black millionaire, I think. But, first black millionaire. Like, she was the, Oprah of her time, basically. Like, she was the Oprah, Martha Stewart, black Martha Stewart of her time. So basically, this whole Netflix is, at first when I heard about it, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be like a movie type of thing, right? Well, actually it's not. It's more so, it's a 4-episode series, right? And mind you, I didn't hear about it until, like, was it last week, when people were like posting about it, like, yeah, they did. I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going to do it. It's like, no, they've already done it. Like, it's already on Netflix. And mind you, I am I'm not an official member, but I officially signed up for Netflix yesterday, only because I really wanted to watch it. And I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and do it, and I'll just cancel, the subscription, before that 30 days is up, probably like 2 days prior, so that way there's no issues whatsoever. But yeah, so I have Netflix now, and I decided to go ahead and watch it. And like I said, it's only 4 episodes long, so it's an easy binge watch. Which, in a way, I'm kind of mad that it was 4 episodes. I don't know if they're gonna do. Well, I don't think they're gonna do anything else. I don't know for sure though. 'Cause I did hear like little murmurs that they might focus on, like, after Madam C.J. Walker died, and then how her daughter took on the business, and her life and all the other stuff, just going more in depth into that. But other than that, I think this is all they're going to do for now. But I do feel like this should have been at least maybe 7 or 8 episodes, because when you're watching a show, and then literally by episode 2, if it's that great of a show, like, you're in it and you just like, ooh, I want to know what else is gonna happen. And then by episode 4, you want to know, like, you want more, right? But then boom, cut off, the show is done. So, and I feel like that's what happened here. Like, so much happened, and I want so much more to happen, but they cut it after 4 episodes. So overall, I enjoyed it. Like, it definitely kept my attention. I like the style that they had in. Of course, the rags to riches story concept, love it. I know they said that there was some issues going on because there's a character in the show, in the TV show, that wasn't, that was just technically fictional, which was, what's her name, Addie Monroe. If you've seen it, mind you, spoilers alert, if you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. Addie, who is the rival to Madam C.J. Walker, and it was like, oh, she's not real, this isn't true, she didn't have any rivals whatsoever, blah blah blah. And I get it, people's upset over it. Like, if you're gonna tell a story, tell it right, like, and I get it, they probably added her in there, for the drama's sake. But at the same time, it's like, when you put in there, and then not to mention they had it seem like Madam C.J. Walker stole this girl's formula, and homegirl was just literally tracking this girl down, you know, because she stole the formula to the hair products and stuff. And then it's like, I get it, drama's sake, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to tell a story, tell it right, tell it all the way through. But yeah, I feel like they did a great job in, you know, and then just to, you know, piggyback, since they said, because for somebody, like, I know who Madam C.J. Walker is, and I know, you know, what she's known for, but for somebody like myself that doesn't know her, like, in depth, like, know her, for somebody that's like, okay, I'm watching this to find a little bit more about her, and to be sitting here watching this all the way through and be like, oh wow, she actually had a rival, or oh wow, you find out that, oh, she actually stole this girl's product, you know, had me thinking like, oh, okay, so you took this girl's product and you just made it better, basically. And then just to hear that, oh no, that part's not true. So now it makes me want to, you know, go find out more. Oh, who done popped up in here? Hey, Kirby. You know, it makes me want to go find more, like find like a documentary about Madam C.J. Walker, so that way, you know, I can fully know about her, you know, because now I'm like, because, you know, it just kind of, you know, messes up the, you know, it kind of messes up the movie a little bit. Oh, what the world was that? Hold up. It just messes up, you know, the movie and all the other stuff. So now I have to go find, you know, more about it because it just messes it up a little bit. But nonetheless, again, I get it. They're just trying to give the whole drama factor, but still, like, if you're gonna tell it, just tell it right. Let's see. What's another thing that stood out before I get to the parts that I really want to talk about? It was nice to see Bill Bellamy. He played, Sweetness? I think that's his name. It was nice to see Bill Bellamy, you know. You don't really think about these people until, you know, see them and stuff. So it's good to see him, you know, working and, you know, doing his thing. And, who else? The guy that played, the dad in, Self-Made, he also played the uncle on the Jamie Foxx show, and then he played Stan on Martin, if you know what I'm talking about. I think it's Garrett something, but it was really good. Like, I was really happy to see him. Like, you know, it's good to know that, you know, he's alive. One, he's alive. Two, he's well and he's acting. You know, it's good to see that. Who else? What else did they touch? They they touched base on colorism, especially around that time, you know, where, and not even around that time, like even now, you know, where light is better, you know, if you ain't light or white, you know, then that's just bad, right? You know, so I'm glad they, you know, touch base on it, and it's a very sensitive topic. And again, it's the same thing, like, when you're doing anything, like, if you're going to do it, right? So, I'm glad that, you know, they talked about, with, Addie's character, because Addie was light-skinned, and she was like, you're not going to use my products because, you know, you're dark-skinned, and you look like you just got off the plantation, you know, stuff like that, because at that time, you know, as far as black representation, you know, light skin was better, you know, and that's just, I feel like it's just with any race, really. Like, if you just go around the world and you look at the ads that they have, you know, it's more so light is better. You know, you don't really see, you know, dark skin this, dark skin that around the world, because, you know, they hide stuff like that. Like, you know, there are millions and millions and millions of dark skinned people in India, But if you see an ad, they'll use like a light-skinned Indian person, Indian girl, or Indian man. And it's like, most of y'all dark skinned, so I don't understand why y'all trying to, hide the fact that some of y'all are dark skinned. And same thing like in the Philippines and in China, and they're dark skinned Chinese people, all of that. Like, dark skinned people are everywhere, and it's always, light skin is better. So they definitely touch bases on that, and colorism in the black community and all the other stuff. They did a good job on that. Then they've talked about sexism. Was it sexism? Is it sexism or sexist? Versus men and women. How these women have doggone college degrees. Okay, they had college degrees, and yeah, y'all trying to put these women in the kitchen, man. Like, that was crazy. And then what else? Ooh, I need to do my toes. But yeah, about sexism, all that, of course, again, around that time. I'm trying to think, what else is there that I want to touch bases on? They briefly mentioned one, like really towards the end, where they briefly, mentioned racism and stuff. They briefly mentioned it, but it wasn't as heavy as it was when it came to like sexism and colorism. But they threw it because, of course, around that time, racism definitely was around. But again, it wasn't until towards the end when Bill Bellamy's character, they called him, he was being too uppity towards a white man. They hung him for it. So that happened. That was like literally the only time they really mentioned racism. But other than that, they were heavy on colorism. They were heavy on, sexism. So, but I feel like they handled that well. I like the fashions in the film. Like, I really did like the fashions. Like, Madam St. Walker, she had this one outfit where, she had on this one outfit where she had on, it was blue, but it was like a sapphire blue, and it was satin. I was like, ooh, look at this already. So yeah, y'all know I love stuff like that. So yeah, it was good to see. Again, this is rags to riches. Like, 1 minute she was looking, whew, and then towards the end of the movie, like, it was just, so it just makes me wonder. And it's so amazing because, again, in the beginning of the film, when she was telling her story, how she was stressed out because, she was a washer girl, and, she was washing clothes to, it was messing with her fingers, and then she was trying to make ends meet, and she wasn't making enough money, and then, her husband over here cutting up, and with all that stress, when the happened, her hair started falling out, which is absolutely real, because when you stressing out like that, and you stressing out like real hard like that, man, because I have an aunt, and she's going through that. Like, she's not completely bald, but she got a couple patches here and there because she's stressed, and then my sister, started happening to her, and then my mom, and stress happens. And then when Addie showed up and was like, hey, I got this hair product, and realized how down Sarah, because Sarah, we're gonna call her Sarah is, and how she helped her out. I also think that not only did her hair product help, but the fact that her husband left, because sometimes people in your life, they become that stress, and once that stress leaves, it's like, woof, it's a load off your shoulders. So I feel like that, and the hair growth products that she had, I think that really helped her hair grow back, because whoo, my God, it was that man told her, you like a mangy dog. I was like, God damn. Oh, that was so mean. But yeah, so she helped, and then when Sarah wanted to sell the product, and Addie was like, nope, you can't do it because people want to look like me, light skin, people want to look like me, nobody wants to look like you, and you too dark, and all, all the other stuff. And then when she was like, okay, well, I have to do this myself, and just spark the whole thing, get the ball rolling, basically. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah, and then that's what I was talking about. So from that till towards the end of the film, where she had made all that money and she was living in this big, beautiful house next to Rockefeller, and her hair was just so pretty and stuff. My only thing is, it's amazing how far we've come as women, as specifically black women, how far we've come as far as when it comes to our hair, where at some point, we would hide it, then it was okay, let's show it, then it's like, let's, put all kinds of products and stuff in it so it can look straight, or be in this style and that's, all these different styles of, because throughout the movie they're showing like all these different women and all these different styles that they had, but they had it braids and they had it down, they had it up, they had it look like a pineapple, and all these different styles, and just becoming comfortable in our hair because it's who we are, and even now, like even now, and I see it on Instagram a lot because that's where I'm mostly on, but I see it on Instagram where somebody will post, how, natural hair is better, and that, or weave is better, and all these other things and opinion. And my personal opinion is be comfortable in what makes you comfortable, okay? Whether you are comfortable in relaxing your hair and you want it straight, whether you are comfortable having it curly, whether you have it in an afro, whether you have it in a protective style like weaves or lace fronts, whatever makes you comfortable, be comfortable in that. Don't ever let anybody feel bad, and as long as you are making sure that that your hair is healthy, I would say. Because just don't, what I mean by healthy, like, don't be doing like extra crazy stuff to your hair where it's just like tearing your hair out. Like, I be seeing girls putting glue in their hair and I'm like, ain't they gonna mess up your hair? That's my only concern that I would have. Like, don't be putting glue in your hair. Like, that's the only concern I have. Or any other chemicals that, what I mean by chemicals, like chemicals that are not supposed to be in your hair. But again, like I said, whatever makes you comfortable, even if you want to put color in your hair, whatever makes you comfortable. Like me, y'all know I love coloring my hair. Like, that's the one thing I love doing. I love coloring my hair. Like right now it's like this dingy dishwater brown, and I hate it. So by Monday comes, I'm definitely getting my hair colored, because that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me comfortable, and that's what makes me me. So I feel like now, well, not even just now, like throughout the years, as black women, we have come to this understanding of my hair is a part of me, so I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make it look how I want it to look and be comfortable in that. And I think the issues is you have a lot of us quick to judge another woman for what she does to her hair. And I know y'all can be like, well, you just judge somebody for having glue in their hair. I know, but it's glue. Come on. I know, but at the same time, it's like, come on, that is glue in your hair. But, just being comfortable. Because again, like I said, it's who you are. Your hair is an extension of who you are. and how you have it. Like, as soon as I walk into work, people always say, you always have a different hairstyle. Yeah, because that's who I am. I'm different. It has to be something different. One, because I sleep and I sleep hard. Okay? I sleep and I sleep hard. Okay? So, as soon as I get up, my hair is all over the place. Bed, head, and all. So, I have to fix it. Like, there's no way I'm about to walk out the house and it's looking all over the place. But, it's, me. It's a part of me. You notice me, excuse me, so there's that. And then it's 4:28, and I thought it was like 6 something. But yeah, so I'm trying to think what else is there. Ooh, what else? Oh yeah, so another thing that I want to discuss from the movie that I liked, or that I didn't like or didn't like. So a lot of people, and this is before I even saw everybody else's opinion. So let's talk about Tiffany Haddish. First of all, I didn't know. Well, I didn't even know about the movie, so but I didn't know that Tiffany Haddish was supposed to be in this movie. So when I saw her, I was like, okay, what we about to get here? Because one thing about Tiffany Haddish that I don't like is that just because you are loud does not mean you're funny, okay? And I feel like, she's loud. Like, she's very loud. And it's like half the stuff that she talks about, like, it's not even funny to me. Now, it may be funny to you and anybody else that watches her. That's fine. And I'm not knocking on her success. Like, you want to be successful, that's fine. I'm not knocking that. It's just her comedy is not funny. Like, she is up there with Amy Schumer. Like, just corny as hell. And I'm just like, okay. So it's almost like each movie that she's in, it's like she's always loud and not funny. And it's like, oh my gosh. But I've noticed that, she's starting to take on more serious roles, trying to switch it up a bit. And that's fine. I applaud her for that. Because sometimes, again, you don't want to keep playing the same role over and over. Because then what's going to happen, you're going to get typecast. And then that's all you are, right? So it's always good to, switch up the role. This role here, okay, she played Madam C.J. Walker's daughter, which I think it's Aline or Alea. I think it's Alea. I think it was her name. I think it's Alea. Okay, so she played Alea, Madam C.J. Walker's daughter, and her performance, it wasn't bad, but I just feel like she was literally playing herself. I just feel like they could have picked somebody else to play her, because for one, the timepiece they were in, 2, like, she just wasn't given Madam C.J. Walker's daughter, like, especially in the time they were in, like, she just really wasn't given that. Like, I don't know how I would have wanted, because I don't really know much about Madam C.J. Walker's daughter, so I can't really say how I wanted her to be. But I just feel like I wasn't watching, Alea. I was watching Tiffany. Like, it was more so Tiffany than anything. Because that's all I saw. And I feel like Tiffany, I don't know. Maybe Tiffany needs to get, because it's easy to be the hottest thing on the block. And everybody wants a piece of you, right? But when you don't take the time to be like, okay, I've never acted, or I never really acted a day in my life. Like, if I did act it, I'm just being funny, okay? But for this type of role, I feel like she should have did some sort of acting classes or whatever, really get that, because it was just, I mean, she was definitely laid back, but still, it was Tiffany. Like, it wasn't, her really, hold on, pause. Especially when you're in a movie with Blair Underwood and Octavia Spencer and everybody else that could act their ass off. Like, you're in a movie with them. Okay, these heavy hitters over here, you're in a movie with them, and you just, sticking out like a sore thumb. Like, that's what I got. Like, she just stuck out. Like, ooh, no. So yeah, like, I feel like either they could have cast somebody else, or at least just, really work with her so she can give, that groundbreaking performance, because that was not. That was not groundbreaking at all. So yeah. Who else? Speaking of Blair Underwood. Now, granted, I get it. Granted, okay, I'm not going to be completely upset with his character. I'm not completely upset, because I feel like when, and you know what? I'm not completely upset, because I understand. Believe me, I understand. Because when you have somebody that you love, that you're close to, starting out a business, and, they're just, everything's changing, and all these things are happening, and you're just sitting there like, one, I didn't ask for this. And two, they're having you, be a part of this that you didn't ask for. Like, I get it, because, my mom, she started off her business, and I somehow became a part of it, meaning helping her out and stuff, and I hated it. Because it's like, this is not what I want. Okay, like, and it just completely takes over your life. And my mom's business completely took over my life, and it just kind of strained our relationship a little bit. It's gotten better, but it had definitely strained our relationship. And I feel like that's what happened with, CJ Walker and Sarah. Or I should call him Charles. Yeah, because that's his name. Because his, Madam CJ Walker, that's his name. She took his name. So, it was, so I completely understand where he's coming from. However, in that same spot, sometimes you have to play your part. And I feel like when you have a wife and she's over here about to make millions, like, stuff like that, you should have been like, you know what, I'm gonna sit back and be a house husband. And I understand, like, around that time when misogyny was just at its all-time high, it's still high today, but it was, like, real high, where, again, like I said earlier, a woman, especially if you're a black woman, you can have a college degree, which back then, for a black person, period, to have a degree in college was top dog, all-star, whatever, to have that, and you gonna put me in the kitchen, like, that's how things were back then. Like, I get that, but at the same time, like, sometimes you have to sit back, play your part, because had he done that, he would have been a part, his name wouldn't be smirchified, as Don King would say. It would be smirchified the way it is, because I mean, it was so bad between Madam C.J. Walker's husband that they didn't have a picture of this man. Like, that's how bad. Like, everybody else had a picture. The guy that Madam C.J. Walker worked with, that was always by her side, and her daughter and her adoptive daughter and all that, they all had pictures. Okay, they all had pictures except for the husband, and she has his name. So she has his name, and they don't have a picture of this man. Like, what? All they got was, all he tried to do his own business, him and the woman that he slept with, okay? And shit failed and they separated. Like, just, Lord Jesus. It was, like, just had you, see, look at Stedman. Okay, Oprah's like, we don't ever hear about him. Okay, we don't ever hear about Stedman. Okay, but that's because that man be minding his business. Okay, he's like, I'm gonna sit back. My partner, my spouse, is a billionaire, so I'm gonna sit back and relax in her billions. Okay, and in my billions. And the only time we really think about Stedman is when Oprah brings him up. That's really it. And that's pretty much all there is. Like, that's just it, Ooh, somebody's cooking something. So, yeah. Is there anything else that... Oh, yeah, and then, like I said, another reason why I don't blame him, because, again, like I said, when you're starting a business, like, that's all you're thinking about, like, is making this business successful. That's all you're thinking about. And in that way, you're going to step on so many toes. And I feel like, that's what, like I said, I understand it completely, but sometimes, But, is there anything else that I want to discuss before I go? Like I said, I honestly want to, it's like, again, after finding out about, Addie Monroe, the character in the movie is not even real. So now it just makes me want to go look up, read up about, CJ Walker, like, just to see, because I understand, like, when it comes to any biopic or any docuseries or whatever, not everything, you're not going to get everything right. Not everything is going to be put in. And something, like I said, not everything is going to be right. Not everything's going to be put in. Even though if you're doing a biopic on somebody or anything, you should definitely, be truthful, have the support of the family, be truthful, especially if the person's dead, be truthful, have support of the family, so that way, there's no issues, you get, an excellent film. But either way, even if you do have all that, you're still going to get something wrong. Like, somebody's going to be pissed off. So, just like when Chadwick did 42, like, he had the support of, family and all that. They had all of that, but you always, they had that one person. If you remember the scene, I think it was that scene. Yeah, the scene when Jackie was on the field and you had that baseball player that threw the baseball and hit him in the face. Yeah, so their family, that guy's family, came out and was like, that didn't happen. And it's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, but your dad, your uncle, your great-grandfather, whoever was racist. Okay, it's alright. I understand you don't want to believe that, but around that time, everybody was racist. Okay. Even those who were still trying to help, like, they were still saying the N-words and everything. Like, everybody was racist. So, yeah. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go do my little research, because they even had a scene where Booker T. Washington, was well, he didn't cuss her out, but technically, like, I wouldn't work with you. I probably endorse a donkey before I endorse you. I'm like, dang. So they said it was like a feud between them, and I'm like, what? And that he was the type of guy that would try to appease white people instead of actually trying to get them to change and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do my little research and do my looking up, so that way I can figure out what's going on with my Black history, So yeah, that's all I got. But say with all I got, I ain't got no more. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.